What's going on, everybody? Vince Goodrum here. It is Tuesday afternoon, just sitting out here chilling. Have myself a little bit of lunch. And I want to come to you today. Well, first off, I want to thank Mr. Joe Pietaro for having me on Must Sport TV last week. And you can expect repeat appearances, folks. So just to answer that question, yes, I will be appearing again on Must Sport TV for the near future. So expect the mints to continue. But the reason why I want to talk to you today is because there's been a lot of renewed interest in SARMS ever since Mr. Genoy, Mr. Benedict Arnold, started marketing and promoting him on his website as far as the what Tony Hughes gave him. People want to know what the Great One thinks about SARMS. And you know, I previously made a video about SARMS. And I think Tom Prince put it best put it in comparison to pro hormones. You see, a long time ago, when I asked Mr. Tom Prince, IFBB Pro, about pro hormones, he basically took steroids, took pro hormones, and it was like comparing a Porsche to a tricycle. Now, don't get me wrong, I made a shitload of money selling pro hormones, especially on eBay. I mean, money was coming in like water. But at the same time, pro hormones are weak analogs. But my opinion hasn't changed, not only for SARMs, but we're also going to discuss CBD oils once again. And I'm going to make myself very clear, and I'm going to add a little bit of detail to it as far as to why I don't like any of these products. Well, it's not that I don't like the products itself. I think people need to have a real analysis as far as to what you're actually buying. So here's the thing. The reason why SARMs and CBD oil is not because they're popular and because they're hype, but because they're very cheap to make and they have a high profit margin. I mean, you're talking micrograms as far as SARMs are concerned. So there's very little active ingredient in either one of these products. And then the rest of them are filled mostly with fillers. You know, most of the fillers are just wheat flour. Very cheap stuff. As far as CBD oil, it's mostly just oil or fatty acids or cellulose and other goofy goop there. So even if it does have active ingredient, who fucking cares, you know? I mean, there's very little active ingredient, and a lot of times it's very easy for some independent company to simply scam people and just sell them as pills, hype them up, and what people end up getting is a placebo effect, essentially. They actually truly think that they're getting bigger when they're really not. The reason why they're getting bigger is because of their concerted efforts as far as training and dieting, period. I mean, SARMs, the reason why they're hyped is because not because they actually work, but because they have a high profit margin. Now, as far as as far as their true effects are concerned, you know, I would actually count on a number of very bad side effects, because usually products like this, based on what it is, you're probably going to have a lot more side effects than you're actually going to have actual gains here, if any, or if any at all there. SARMs are only around for the same reason that CBD oils are around, because they're cheap to make and they have a high profit margin. And that's the difference between that and steroids. Steroids, you can't fucking fake it. You know what I mean? You have to truly acquire real product for real results. As far as SARMs and stuff is concerned, you know, you can leave it out of the main ingredient and people still think you're legit because of that placebo effect. Now, let me tell you guys a little story back in the day. Now, whenever I worked at the flea market, you know, I did sell supplements, but, you know, I also had some side products. You know, I had a little laundry product because, you know, laundry detergent is very expensive. You know, Tide, you know, get a bucket of Tide, costs like $20. Me, I used to sell this other stuff here. I called it Washi Washi. You know, I did have a little mascot, but it was considered politically incorrect at the time, so I just put Washi Washi on it. And all I did was buy a couple of drums of gelatin and soap powder. Mixed a little bit together, then took a garden hose and sprayed it in, and then stirred it up with a paint stick until it gave that nice visceral feel, much like laundry detergent. And I'd sell the shit for $5. And it only cost me maybe like 26 cents in order to make me a bucket of that washy stuff. Really good seller, you know? Did it clean clothes? Yeah, it worked. Works just as good as the other stuff that's in stores here, and that's my whole thing. You know, a lot of these companies are making high profits because, you know, they're very cheap to make there, you know? That's the way the world runs. You know, most of your common products and ingredients are made pretty simply, especially aspirin. Aspirin, easy to make there, you know. Smilax makes testosterone. I mean, just trying to keep it real and tell it like it is. My whole opinion about SARMS is, you know, you can't really tell whether it works because it's meant to be a weak analog or somewhat a weak analog. So as far as his MK677, as far as these CBD oils are concerned, you know, the reason why they're there has nothing really to do with effectiveness. It just simply has to deal with profit. And people are making stone cold profits off of it. Who knows? I might sell some SARMs or some CBD oil. But, you know, I have a moral compass, so more than likely you can't expect it from me. You know, if I do open up a supplement store again somewhere in the future, I will have to carry the product because it is what it is as far as suppliers are concerned. But I'm just letting you guys know, you know, be very smart about your purchases when you make it, because you have to know what you're actually buying. When it comes to CBD oils and SARMs, you know, you need to really know why they're around. And it's not because of the benefit or the behoovement of bodybuilders and aspiring athletes. They're around because they are intended to make a shitload of profit for the distributor, period. And that's all I got to say today, people. You like this channel? Well, God damn it, you love this channel. Like and subscribe to the Vince Goodrum channel. If you got any comments, leave them down below. Okay? Peace.